morning, my friends. Out and about early, and I'm hoping I have a nice little treat for you out here in the battlefield in Gettysburg, and hoping to chase a little sunrise for New Year's Day for all of you drunken fornicators. Get your asses out of bed, have some nice eggs, easy over or poached, some blood pudding, a couple shots of vodka, you'd be all right. It's pretty cloudy. I'm headed out to McPherson's Ridge, and I'm hoping the clouds don't beat the sun view. Almost up to my shack. In any event, good morning and thanks for coming along. Let's hope we can catch a nice sunrise. The grand show is eternal, John Muir once said. I couldn't agree more. Plan B. This is my usual commute home. This is Willoughby Run, and I live on the run about a mile north. That's south, that's west. But that's the funny thing about genetically being Nordic. I'm a walking compass. I never get lost. I always know where north is. It's my superpower. And in contrast to my hiking buddy, the professor, he doesn't know which direction is which. He's always asking me, he's like, Daryl, which way's north? That way's north. And so when I talk, I say, you know, back in Chicago and over in Sweden and up in Iceland and down in Arizona and Virginia and, you know, up in Canada, I always know which direction things are. I don't know. Maybe it's genetic, but usually there's a nice rock path here. If you've seen my past videos, I usually cut across those rocks, and I don't really feel like walking another 2-3 miles home with totally wet socks. That water's about up to my knees. I'm not in the mood, but so plan B, I'm going around the battlefield. I'm going to go around the McPherson farm. And thanks for coming along. It's too bad because the Harmon farm's right there, and I was hoping to sit and have another cup of coffee, and I'm looking for an alternative. I know there's a couple of downed trees up north of here, and where I'm at, I mean, once you cross the run here, there's no trail. There's a short trail here that I just came down, and it's like 100 yards maybe, but once I get over there, there's no trail. It's just thick woods. It's thicket. Like 7-8 plants out of 10 are thorns and bramble, thorny bushes, wild barberries, wild rose shrubs. It's a nasty thicket, but that's usually the way I go. And then the Harmon farm's on the other side, and that farm is where my cousins, my second, third cousins lived back during the Battle of Gettysburg. So this run is, it's kind of profoundly important. I know that my ancestors 155 years ago waded here. They bathed here, they cooled off here, their cows drank the water here. My cousins crossed this run to go to school every day. And it's just a really kind of a cosmic coincidence that I happened to move right up the run, you know, 155 years later. I'm not from Gettysburg. I'm from a small village and small town in central Illinois where a lot of Vikings and Germans and Scandinavians first settled in America. And the Starved Rock area, LaSalle County, Norway, Illinois is there. I love Norway, Illinois. In any event, I'm not from Gettysburg. I like Gettysburg. I think I've come here and I've done pretty much everything there is to do here. On the average, since 1986, on the average, I've lived in places around 6 years each before I move on. And I usually, since then, I went to college in Chicago and then I started moving around. I've always lived places with character. I'm lucky in that regard. I guess I'm drawn to those kinds of places. Boulder, Colorado, Virginia Beach, DC area. But I've been here. This is my 6th year here. And I'm not planning on spending the rest of my life here. I've done pretty much everything there is to do here. My friend the professor says the same thing. He's a really well-traveled person. And we came, we saw, we did. It's time to experience something else. I've found that, you know, people like me and him, we've experienced a great deal of stimulation in the world. We've been a lot of places. We've seen a lot of things. It's really hard for us to settle for what becomes the same every day. We need to see something different. You know, variety is the spice of life. It's time for me to move on and experience something different before I die. In the next 10 years, I mean, I need to, with my illnesses really hitting rock bottom in 2018 and being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, I need to start. I'm 50 years old. I just turned 50 in October, and I need to start thinking about where I'm going to die and where I'm going to rest my head when I'm too old to function any longer. So we'll see where that is. Today is a day that is, for me, as far as my health is concerned, a lot of people I know that I've interacted with that have multiple sclerosis, it's 40 degrees out. It's 40 degrees out, which a lot of people I know with multiple sclerosis, this is a perfect climate for me. If you've been paying attention to my videos, all 12 of you, thank you. The hot months, when you have multiple sclerosis, the hot months, forget about it. I'm not doing shit. It's too hot. I'm in the house. It makes me feel like I'm in a pressure cooker. But with these cooler temperatures and nice overcast skies, a lot of folks with multiple sclerosis, we become really sensitive to the light. I spent 30 years in the outdoor industry as a career, and I'm used to being out in 100-degree weather and full blazing sunlight in Virginia, Colorado, Illinois, you name it. But now, the past couple of years that multiple sclerosis hit me, it's a different story. And so a day like today is ideal for me. It's an interesting contrast because a lot of people, when they get older, in their 60s, their 70s, they seek areas like New Mexico and Arizona where that drier air is healthier for them. I'm a total contrast. So as I get closer to, I retired as of October. As of my 50th birthday, I am officially retired. I'm pursuing my photography to supplement my very small income. And for you patrons out there, people who have supported me through Patreon, thank you very much. There's been food on my table for the past couple of months. I've been eating good. My bills are caught up. I'm out of the shit house. I'm not going to be evicted, thanks to my good friend the professor, who was glad to help me out financially. You know, he's been a really good friend to me. In any event, this kind of weather is ideal for me. So with retirement approaching, you know, my reality is I've got 10 years to go. I've got, maybe if I'm lucky, 15. So I'm looking at areas that the weather is like this consistently. I love the winter. I love being out cross-country skiing, which physically I'm hoping I can build back up to that. I love snowshoeing. I love the snow. I love the winter. And with my health taking such a turn, I need to seek areas like that to retire in. And so I'm looking at Newfoundland. Iceland, I love Iceland. Iceland is has 300,000 people. It's going to have 1.5 million tourists this year. A cookie cost $18. I don't really think that that's for me, and I really think that in the next 5 years people are going to be looking for alternatives, and I think that one of those alternatives is going to be Newfoundland. A third of the island is a nature preserve. There's two very world famous trails, the East Coast Trail and the West Coast Trail. It's a beautiful place to live. So I'm looking at Newfoundland. I'm hoping to hike the East Coast Trail. It's a 250-mile trail. Planning on that in the next couple of years, depending upon my health. My eyes are always bigger than my stomach in regard to my health. My brain and my spirit and my life and my experiences, I'm still thinking and planning and doing the things that I've always done. I'm going to go hike 50 miles in the AT, and then I wake up in the morning and I feel like I got my ass kicked by a football team. And that's just reality. And keep in mind, like I've always said, I don't hope and I don't dream. I plan and I have goals. I have aspirations. I don't ever say I'm going to do something if I'm not going to do it. I don't hope I'm going to do something. I don't dream I'm going to do something. Either I'm going to do it or I'm not. If I say I'm going to do something, sick or not, I'm going to go do it. My recent 2 hikes that I was planning, I didn't say I was going to do them. Yes, I was hoping I was going to do them, but I don't hope that I'm going to do it. Either I'm going to do it or I'm not. I never say I'm going to do something if I'm not sure I'm going to do it. I don't hope, I don't dream. I have goals, I make plans, and you should too. So next couple of years, East Coast Trail. Another goal of mine before I die on my bucket list is the Thorsmörk Trail in Iceland. The other trail that I would like to do, and my bucket list is simple. It's like 3 trails. Is the Kungsleden in Sweden, Abisko, and up in northern Sweden. It's about a 500-kilometer hike, and that's a trail that I would like to do. The most important thing on my bucket list, and I think any parent would agree, is that I'd like to make sure that my daughter is secure and happy and safe and sound and well on her way to a successful and happy life before I take a walk on the Rainbow Bridge. And thanks for coming along. It's a really beautiful day out here today. This hike is going to kick my ass. The sound of the water is awesome. There's geese flying all over. There's birds like chirping everywhere. The colors out here are bitchin'. Photographs and video never ever do nature justice at all. I love video. Video is so honest. You're looking in people's eyes and you can share with, where you are. And please, if you're on a social network, stop regurgitating the same bullshit that everybody else shares, man. Share something personal. Share something from you. Share your family, your photos, who you are, what makes you tick, what you find beautiful, what, really stirs your spirit, what makes you do backflips. Share the personal rather than the same stuff everybody else shares. Stop regurgitating and start being original. That is my suggestion for the world. And hopefully social networks will stop being instrumental in making the world antisocial. So, in any event, let's move on. And I hope you're all having a very good morning, because I certainly am. I was told that this was part of the stones from the trolley system, and there used to be a little bridge that went across here. Perhaps it was from the there was a golf course that President Eisenhower played golf in the 50s, right across the water here. It could have been part of that, but it's really nice. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful thing to see something like this left over from days past, from 100 years ago. Puts a picture in your mind of, you know, what life was like and what people saw and what they experienced in places like this so long ago. In contrast to that, one of my favorite quotes is Andy Warhol saying, "The most perfect form of art is a landscape left untouched." And I couldn't agree more. But when you see nature reclaiming what man has made, sometimes is its own form of art and expression. It's beautiful. And finally, the sun's coming out. I was trying to catch that sunrise today, and that's pretty bitchin'. But that's probably about all the sun that we're going to have today. So either I'm going wading or I'm going hiking back up to the ranger station. And but it's a beautiful day out here. Wish you were here. The sun's sparkling off the water surface. The sun's out. The trees are like cracks in the sky. It's beautiful. And if you've tuned in today, thanks for tuning in. And definitely, last but not least, my friend Wild Bill, thanks for hitting me up almost every single day and making me laugh my ass off, and asking me if I need anything, and asking me how I'm doing. You know, thanks for being there for me.
At the harvest fair, she'll be surely there, so I'll dress in my Sunday clothes, with my shoes shine bright and my hat just right, when the heart of the nut brown rose. No pipe I'll smoke, no horse I'll yoke, and my plow will rust and brown, till a smiling bride by my own fireside sits the star of the county down. And from Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the county down. And from Bantry Bay up to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, no maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met in the county down.